Almost all of my clients who come to see me for a criminal case ask me this question. In fact, I just had that question today. And my clients tend to point it out where they didn't read me my Miranda. Should they have read me my Miranda rights? What are the Miranda rights? So one of the things that I like to explain to my clients is, yeah, Miranda rights exist. They're on this little piece of paper that law enforcement have, and it basically says you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And they ask if you need a lawyer and things of that nature. So these are things that we see on TV, we see them in the movies, but in practice, it's a real thing. But in reality, it only comes into play when you are a person who stands accused of a crime and you are asked to make statements. If you have one thing to take from what I'm telling you now is, anytime you're accused of a crime, anytime you stand accused of any type of criminal conduct, please remain silent until you have had the time to speak to an attorney. Because just like that little Miranda card says, is whatever you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And throughout my almost 20 years of experience, I have seen that happen many, many times. Now, for example, if you are arrested and you don't talk or you don't answer any questions or you're not in custody with law enforcement, then whether they read you your Miranda rights or not will have nothing to do with the outcome of your case. So it's really something that affects you if your case is dependent on maybe you giving a confession or what the law enforcement deems as a confession. Then the reading of your Miranda rights is going to be important. In my experience, many people nowadays are more able to recall that bit of knowledge to not speak to law enforcement or prosecutors without the presence of their attorney, because again, they can and will use those things against you. So do they have to read your Miranda rights? They do if they want the statements that they take from you to be valid and to not be thrown out in the court of law. But aside from that, there's no other real requirement that actually affects the defense and the prosecution of your criminal case. The important thing is to speak to an attorney, hire an attorney that knows about these types of situations. Make sure that you have consulted with them before you do anything in regards to your criminal case, because these can have long-standing consequences on you and your freedom. If you have any other questions about Miranda or any other issues in criminal defense, please feel free to contact the Victory Law Firm.